Hey everybody, Yori Chisholm here from bagpipelessons.com. Thanks for tuning into the bagpipelessons.com YouTube channel. I have got a new package here with some exciting new bagpipes, and I was going to open them up and show you what I got. So what I have here is a set of the brand new pipes from Hardie and Company. I was actually in Scotland just a couple of weeks ago and had a tour of the factory with my family on the day that these pipes were released to the world. You may have seen the news article on pipes drums. So what they've done is they have streamlined their offerings and really condensing it down to the very best of all of the sets that they have. And Alistair Dunn of Hardie graciously sent me this set to have a look and to share with you guys. I'm really excited to see what they look like, see what they sound like. This is sealed up. I have not opened these up, so let's take a look. By the way, if you are in Glasgow for piping or a vacation or whatever, you should go to the Hardie factory. It is really cool. I will probably be sending out an email or making some social media posts about my trip there and about my visit to the factory. But for being one of the most prolific and famous and trusted bagpipe makers in the world with this amazing historical tradition of Peter Henderson and Hardie, it's not a very big place. And it is really neat to be literally in the room or couple of rooms where they take pieces of African blackwood and they turn them into bagpipes. Beautiful drones, infinity pipe chanters. It's just really amazing. And as a piper, you're used to your instrument being how it is and making the most out of it, trying to make the most out of it with your reeds and your playing. But what's really cool is to see the raw materials and how these craftsmen transform, whether it's the plastic that they make into pipes and chanters and practice chanters or the blackwood. Really, really cool. All right, so this is what I got here. On the delivery note is a set of Peter Henderson 01 bagpipes with thistle engraving. Got my blowpipe length, blackwood infinity chanter with reed, Bannatyne hybrid pipe bag with the bottom zip, Bannatyne DriFlo moisture control system. This is exactly my setup here. Increased absorption, easy drone base, standard tenors, and then they've got some new bag covers and cords, which I have not seen before. So they're calling these a heritage line. So I got a navy blue heritage with silver bag cover, and then the heritage navy drone cords. Piper case, deluxe Piper case, and some other stuff. Cool. All right. Lots of bubble wrap. Ooh, this case looks nice. What do we got in here? Let's open that in a second. And then we got the pipe case here. All right, let's get rid of this. So right off the bat, I can see this new style Hardie Deluxe Bagpipe case. Looks very cool. I have used one of these for a while and sold a lot of these to my students and customers, but this is new in that it has this silver braid on it. I like the silver. I think the previous model had gold. All right, get this stuff over here. This is a great case. Plenty of room for all your gear. Soft case, but it has some stiffness to it. All right, and also in there we have High-Fidelity pipe and earplugs. Very good. Good to have earplugs. These are a good option. Looks like we got golf towel. Very good for cleaning up all the various liquids and bodily fluids that are involved in piping. All right, let's open up these earplugs here. Pipe band plugs, quality hearing protection. Very good. So there you go. So it's got like a silicone flange type earplug, and then it's got a filter. So what's high fidelity about them? is that this filter reduces the amount of volume coming into your ears, but it's going to maintain the quality. So these high-end musicians' earplugs, what they have is they call flat attenuation, so it takes all the sound and drops it the same amount, so it doesn't sound distorted. And it's got a nice little case here. Plop those in there. Cool. So keep that on your keychain or attached to your pipe case or whatever. Cool. It's got the little RG Hardie logo on it. Nifty. I like that. Let's put that aside for later. Okay. What was in here? Oh, nice. So this is their maintenance kit. Very cool. Brushes. Skinny brush and a wide brush for the stocks and the drones and the narrower part of the drones. Bagpipe metal polish and sealant. Very cool. For polishing up the nickel mounts. And a little microfiber towel. This must be for the polish. Cool. Chamois type cloth. I'll have to read and see what these are all for. This is very cool. Oh, and Renaissance wax. Oh, this is cool. I have some of this. This is for using on the wood, to keep the wood all nice and polished. If you have seen or you play bagpipes that were made in the 50s, 60s, 70s, a lot of those bagpipes were shellacked. So they take the wood, and then the final step, they would put a shellac, like a clear coat on it. And that gives it a nice look, but the problem is that over time, it gets dinged up and it chips off, and then it doesn't look so nice anymore. These days, the bagpipe makers don't use shellac, they use a wax finish. So that's what this Renaissance wax is about. So I've seen this before. It's sort of like a, well, take a look at it. Yep, like a hard wax that has a little bit of the shoe polish smell. If you ever had that, ever polished up your shoes with, you know, wax in a can. Similar to that, with no pigment though. So that is cool. Let's take a look at the metal polish. Doesn't say what's in it. I'm not going to open this. It's got a bunch of warnings on it. Flammable, toxic, all that stuff. So put that aside. All right, very good. How about we get onto these bagpipes, shall we? All right. Exciting moment. Very good. Some more literature, practice chanters, maintenance options, registration card. This is cool. You can fill out your model number, serial number, stay in the loop. Very cool thing that they do that. Extra rocks for the DriFlo system. I love the DriFlo system. It's a desiccant-based moisture control system for your drones. These silica gel beads are indicating, and they change color depending on if they're dry or wet. When they're dry or they're brand new and dry, they're orange. And then as moisture gets absorbed into the gels, I call them gels, but they're hard. They're like hard, if you like, glass or plastic beads. But when they absorb moisture, they eventually turn green. And in between orange and green, they kind of are a purplish color. That is very cool. All right, we got the little tube of lubricant for the zipper. Infinity pipe chanter, Blackwood. We'll open that up in a second. And here they are. So this is how you want to do it. If you are ever shipping bagpipes, you want every piece to be individually bubble wrapped. And the reason you do that is so they don't bang against each other and get damaged. You know, the case has some stiffness and padding, that's great. Then it's in a cardboard box, and there's some more bubble wrap. But really on the inside, you want to make sure when this thing is getting shipped around that any jostling, nothing is gonna chip there. So they've done a nice job here. Very cool. All right, so there is the blowpipe. So that's our first glimpse of what we're talking about here with this engraving. Really nice I want my camera to not focus on my face. I want it to focus on, there you go. So you can see that really nice thistle style engraving. It's a classic engraving pattern. I've never had a set of bagpipes with the thistle engraving, but I really like it. My first teacher, Colin McKenzie, he had a beautiful set of silver and ivory bagpipes with that thistle pattern. I've always really liked that. Okay, we got our flapper valve. This is black wood, so it maintains that traditional look to match the rest of the pipes, but the moisture in your breath when you play one of these RG Hardie blowpipes never touches the wood. And I actually saw this at the factory, how they make it, but so they call this the blowpipe. This is the mouthpiece. The mouthpiece unscrews. This is replaceable. For example, if you needed to get a different length, longer or shorter, you could do that. But this is plastic. And then down below, this part which is hemped up that goes into the stock, this is plastic as well. So it's a plastic piece that goes inside the wood, and that is really cool, because without that, this blowpipe would crack, and that happens a lot. And it's the most common part of bagpipes to crack is the blowpipe, because there's just so much moisture going through there. All right, cool. Put that back in. All right, got a lot of bubble wrap here. Let's start trimming this off here carefully. Oh, there we go. That looks nice. Very nice. So while I'm doing this, I'll just say that this is a really, really cool time to be a piper. Here we are in July of 2025. When I was starting out piping over 30 years ago, all the good sets of bagpipes were old pipes. And when I got to that point where I was looking for a really nice set, when I was sort of rising up through the amateur ranks and getting close to playing in the professional grade, I needed a really nice set. And we're looking for old pipes. And we're talking like, you know, pre-World War II, the golden age at that time, you know, pre-World War I Hendersons or Lories or something like that. These days, you can get fantastic bagpipes that are brand new. Wow, that looks really great. This is a Tenor drone. Got the thistle pattern here. I'll give you a better close-up here in a sec once I get this thing totally unwrapped. So that was the outside Tenor. I want to be careful when you're cutting this bubble wrap that you do not cut the pipes, of course. There we go. So these days you can get a fantastic set that are brand new, and they're going to be perfectly made, because like I saw at the factory, these things are made by machine. You know, each piece is made individually. They don't like, it's not like come off a big assembly line. So each piece is made individually by hand, but the boring is done by, you know, these computer controlled machines, which is really amazing. So you know it's going to be perfect, and you also know that the design is going to be great, because what these computer controlled machines allow the pipe maker to do is test out different designs. So they can tweak a bore dimension here, make a bore wider or narrower, try different combinations of things. It allows them to do a lot more trial and error, and they can optimize and perfect their designs. So you know you're getting a really good design that's going to be manufactured to perfection. All right, there we go. Oh, a little label fell off. It says, we recommend using blackwood oil once a year and bagpipe metal polish sealant every 6 months to protect your bagpipes. All right, groovy. And it was sort of held on there with a little rubber band. Okay, get rid of that. We're getting close here, folks. This is the bass drone top. And then finally, bottom section on the bass drum. Oh, beautiful. Okay. There we go. Beautiful. nicely humped up. Oh, got the drone reed box in here. Great. I think we are empty. Let me just put this aside. Cool. So here we go. So very nice. So from a distance you can see this is the new heritage style bag cover. Very cool. It's like a microfiber material. I play an older version of their bag cover that does have this material. It's really nice. It's a little bit stretchy, and it's like a synthetic, breathable microfiber. And on the inside, also very cool, got the zipper. And then it has a little bit of fleece, you know, like it's a little bit fleecy, which is nice. So it's breathable. We have our Bannatyne small bag with the bottom zipper. Great. And here are the DriFlos. So there you can see this is what the DriFlo looks like. There's 3 of those, one of these for each drone. And there are little air holes here and little air holes on this end. Small enough holes to let the air pass through, but the silica gel don't fall out. So this goes with a little rubber cup and a tube that goes to the bottom of each drone stock. So this is sealed here, sealed to the bottom of the drone stock. So there's no way for any air to get to that drone reed and out that drone unless it passes through one of these. So fill up the bag. As you increase the air pressure, air is going to travel through the tube. And as it travels through, these silica gels remove the moisture from the air. So it's warm and moist air in the bag. And as it travels through, the moisture's removed. And by the time it gets to the drone reed, it's warm and dry, which is great. So there's 3 of these. Love my DriFlo. And it also has the Bannatyne bottle trap. So this is a tube that's connected to the blowpipe. So I'll blow into this. And this is the first line of defense. Any spit or drool and some condensation will be caught in the tube. And anything that gets to the end of the tube sprays out and will go into this bottle. This bottle has holes in it, so this is not designed to seal anything, but it's a physical way to catch any of the spit or condensation that gets to the end of the tube. And then this chamois in here, it's just an absorbent chamois cloth, and it just absorbs some of the condensed water. So after I play for, you know, a half an hour or whatever, this tube's going to be filled with all kinds of droplets of water, and this little chamois cloth in there will be wet as well. So what that does is that filters out some of the moisture, but still the bag is going to be very hot and steamy. And then we want it that way. We want the air inside the bag to be warm and moist, because that Chanter reed in our Infinity pipe chanter is a cane reed, so it wants moisture. Whereas the drone reeds, they're synthetic, so they want to be totally dry. That's why we have 2 levels of moisture control. The tube with the bottle and the chamois that's attached to the blowpipe that I blow through that takes out some water, but then we have the DriFlo with the silica gel that's going to filter out any remaining moisture before it gets to the drone reeds. Got to get that back in there. Very cool. All right. And the little tube of zipper lubricant, you don't need this to keep the zipper airtight. The zipper is air and water tight just on its own. But what the lubricant does is you just put a little tiny dollop, maybe the size of a pea. And what that does is that just lets you open and close the zipper more easily. So it's less wear and tear on the zipper. You don't have to pull so hard. So it's not about sealing, it's just about keeping that zipper nice and easy to open and close. All right, so now get our bag cover zipped up. Got the Velcro on the back. Got a nice seal there. Cool. And you see different types of bag covers in terms of material. I used to see tartan or velveteen, or like a corduroy, but I like this smooth synthetic material. and it holds its color really, really well. If you use like a standard fabric that's not designed for outdoors or for intense UV, it will tend to fade. And I've had bag covers fade, and you'll sometimes see pipe bands play and they have various versions of the same color of bag cover because some are older. This type of fabric does a really good job with sweat and moisture and dealing with the UV from being out in the sun. Cool. So there we have it. African blackwood bagpipes with imitation ivory mounts. 100 years ago, these would be real elephant ivory, but we don't do that anymore. We don't want to be involved in killing elephants to make bagpipes because it's just decorative. And the imitation ivory looks really, really great. And then we have the engraved nickel. Now it's really cool. Check that out. It's so neat. You can see that thistle pattern. And also on the, these are the ferrules. It's a beaded and capped ferrule, so you can see that this little bump here, they call that a bead. And then capped means that the metal goes on the underside. Sometimes you'll see ferrules which are literally just a tube of metal. They don't have the bead and they don't have the underside. But this is a beaded and capped. And you can see on the drone cap there, it's also beaded, engraved on the top, but also engraved on the side here. Really nice. And then this is the bushing, which is also imitation ivory. Then you can see the slides. And really, really nice. So somewhere on here it says Peter Henderson. There it is. On the top drone slide, on the base drone, you can see there. Peter Henderson. Really, really cool. So, you know, as a piper, you mostly care, number one, about how your pipes sound, but you also care how they look. And it's also really interesting to learn how these pipes are made. These new pipes that they've just released, these 3 styles of engraving, are all done by laser. And it's really, really cool. I think they still have, they're very, very, very top of the line bagpipes with silver. You can get them with silver if you want to spend many, many more thousands of dollars having silver on your bagpipes. It doesn't affect the sound at all. But some people really want the most fanciest, most expensive thing. So you can get silver, and you can get silver that's been hand engraved. But what you have here is this laser engraved pattern, and it's just so cool. We're actually at the factory with my family, and we're watching them use this machine, and each piece is loaded into the engraver one at a time. So this set of bagpipes has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 pieces of nickel that were all engraved one at a time by the machine. And Alistair Dunn was telling me that this new machine that they have has a more powerful laser and is able to really etch it really quite deep. So you can really feel the depth of the engraving there. And what's cool about this is it has a vintage look. So the way the engraving works is you've got the shiny parts of the silver or the nickel, and then the sort of the etched parts that already have like this really cool kind of patina to them. So also have a new mount shape. You know, people that are really into bagpipes and vintage bagpipes, they can spot a set of pipes based on what the mounts look like. So very cool. Let's see what we got for drone reeds in here. Nope, no drone reeds yet. Pop a tenor in. Beautiful. Love that double tone. First tone and then it kicks into a second tone. Beautiful. That joint is a little bit loose, even though I'm sure these were perfect at the factory. What happens with the new set of pipes or anytime you re-hemp a joint is that the hemp will pack down with time. Just a little bit of dental floss on here. So as it packs down, it'll get loose, and you just got to add a couple more layers, and then you're good to go. And here's the base reed, hopefully. No base reed. All right. Maybe, I don't think it fell into the bag, but I do have other base reeds over here. So let's grab one. Here's an easy drone base I can pop in there. So the progression for pipers is when you first start out, you get your set of bagpipes, all your gear fits in your pipe case, and then you have old things and new things and extra things and backup things, and then maybe you have a little bag, or maybe you have a drawer, and then you have a whole bunch of drawers, and then you have a whole room. That's where I am. I'm in the more than a whole room full of bagpipe stuff. Phase of life. Okay, let's add a little bit on here. Beautiful. You can hear that really nice double tone. Beautiful. And it goes thunk when it goes into that second tone. That means that that drone and that reed are happy together. Everything is operating as it should be. If you have a tenor drone or a bass drone that makes a single tone, not a good sign. Okay, let's check this out. Beautiful. So easy. They're hardly taking any air. Smooth. They lock in tone. This is, I'm not surprised, but this is exactly what you want. Fantastic. Last thing to try is the Infinity Chanter. Now, there it is. Beautiful, like leather case, Infinity Chanter. This is the world's best blackwood chanter, in my opinion. Amazing sound, amazing feel. The holes are smoothed out. You can see that there. But I've done a whole bunch of other videos about the Infinity Chanter on this channel, and not only are the holes smaller than a lot of other chanters and they're closer together, but the edges are sanded. It gives it a really, really nice feel. Now, this is not a tone protector. This reed is going to be really dry here. Yeah, it's dry. So what I'm going to need to do is pop that, get a tone protector on it. And what that's going to do is that is going to acclimatize. I'm not going to do anything to that reed right now until that has had a chance to get acclimatized to the right humidity. This is my chanter that I've been playing currently. Wow, and it fits. Amazing. Perfect. Let's see how this sounds. wow, amazing. So this is my Chanter. Never been played with these pipes before. Really, really amazing out of the box. A couple things that I'm going to need to do to get these just dialed in for me is I'm going to put a rubber mouthpiece protector here because I don't like to bite on that hard plastic. And the other thing, I'm going to get my perfect angle blowpipe positioner, which I always play with, and without it, the blowpipe wants to pop out. So not so comfortable on the teeth for me, so I want to get the rubber and then get the perfect angle. And what that's it's a system that attaches to your blowpipe and your two drone stocks, goes underneath the pipe bag so no one sees it, and it just holds your blowpipe in the right position so it doesn't want to pop out. So I'm going to need to adjust those, and then probably adding a little bit of hemp, just to make sure that everything is exactly as tight as I want it to be. But holy cow, these pipes sound great, they look great, they feel great to play. They're really efficient and steady, and they're just going to get better as these as these drones get played in a little bit and as I get used to it. So really, really cool. This is what I expect from R.G. Hardie. R.G. Hardie, Peter Henderson, they're the same company. And what we're looking at here, let me get the number right. This is the new PH01. So this new line was released July 30th, 2025. And here we are just a couple weeks later. Amazing beating and combing, high quality blackwood. I also love every time I get a new set of bagpipes or a bagpipe chanter that's blackwood, I take photos of it. So I'm going to go outside with some sunlight and I'm going to get some nice up close pictures of these pipes, because this beautiful wood grain will disappear, and the grain and the striping in the grain that you can see now will just all fade to black with time, with oxidation, with the oils from my hands, just from aging. It will go jet black, and it's always fun to look back and go, wow, my pipes used to be a lot lighter, different color. But that's also really cool when they turn that jet black color. So there they are. Got the new heritage cords with the blue and a white. If you know me, I love blue. Half my YouTube videos, I'm wearing a blue polo shirt. So blue and white, Scotland colors. The heritage bag cover with the Celtic knot design ribbon. The amazing plastic lined blowpipe. Also the blowpipe stock that you can't see, that's also plastic lined. Wood on the outside, but plastic on the inside, so that will never crack. And then tomorrow or the day after, I'll check on my Blackwood Infinity Chanter with the new reed. See how that's going. So if you are interested in these, check them out on my shop. I'm going to get these up on the shop as soon as I can here. Go to bagpipelessons.com/Hardie Pipes, Hardie pipes, and that will take you the link to the plastic Hardie pipes that I have, and also the Peter Henderson pipes that I'm going to get on the shop very soon. But these are beautiful. They sound good. They look good. Gosh, they're fun to play. I want to play some more. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're interested in watching more of my videos, click subscribe to join my bagpipelessons.com YouTube channel and click the little bell so you get notified. If you're interested in learning from me, consider joining my bagpipelessons.com inner circle. I do weekly live classes on Zoom almost every week. And you also get access to all of the live classes I've ever done, and we're talking hundreds of them. They're all recorded for you to watch on replay. So you can forget Netflix and forget Disney Plus and Hulu. Join your bagpipelessons.com inner circle, and you have hundreds of hours of binge watching. It's all bagpipe related. And also hundreds of other lessons and PDFs and exercises and tunes and product guides and reviews. And you also get feedback from me. Every month or so, we do a member video session where you can submit videos of your playing, and I'll watch it and give you some individualized feedback. So you can learn more about my inner circle at bagpipelessons.com/membership. And also, if you're looking for tone protectors and pokers and the in-tune mic and the bagpipe gauge and my foundation reed, my exclusive Easy Drone set, those are all available at the shop at bagpipelessons.com/shop. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for listening and enjoying these new set of bagpipes with me. And thanks to Alistair Dunn at R.G. Hardie for these beautiful new pipes. I'm going to play some more now. Thanks.